She chose him over her own daughter and even sent her daughter out of the house. Guys, you won't believe this. Let's find out how it happened. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more movie recaps. This story begins with a young man named Oliver, who tried to force himself on a girl called Palumi. Palumi is the daughter of Sarah, the woman Oliver is dating. Palumi screamed for help, and when her mother Sarah rushed in, she found her daughter on top of Oliver. Shocked, Sarah demanded answers. Oliver quickly lied, claiming Palumi came into his room, jumped on him, and even tore his clothes. Palumi tried to speak the truth, but it sounded like she was lying. And Sarah didn't know who to believe. Oliver then took Sarah aside, acting innocent. He told her Palumi had always hated him and wanted him out of the house. To prove his innocence, he fed Sarah lies about her daughter, and sadly, Sarah believed him. When Palumi tried to explain to her mother, she was slapped. Sarah accused her of trying to destroy the only happiness she had and sent her away. Later, Oliver pretended to leave, but Sarah begged him to stay. She reminded him of how much she loved him and how she couldn't live without him. Meanwhile, Palumi went to her friend Rebecca, who confirmed that Oliver had actually called Palumi to his room. Rebecca remembered her own bad experience with Oliver and wanted to help, but Oliver was clever. He told Sarah he would only stay if she sent Palumi away. Using Sarah's painful past, how she was abandoned at 13 and had suffered so much, he manipulated her further. Finally, Sarah gave in. She told Palumi she was bad luck, reminded her how much she had sacrificed, and still accused her of wanting to steal Oliver. Heartbroken, Palumi begged her mother, but Sarah refused to listen. Palumi went outside crying helplessly, wondering why her mother chose a man over her own daughter. Rebecca then remembered how Oliver once took advantage of her sister too, and even threatened her. So she went to Palumi, gave her her home address, and encouraged her to stay there until she could sort things out. The next morning, Oliver left Sarah's house to see another woman named Brianna, his real girlfriend. Brianna was angry because he ignored her, and she revealed she was pregnant. Her aunt had already sent her out, but Oliver told her to keep the baby and come with him. Meanwhile, Palumi went to Rebecca's house, where Rebecca's sister welcomed her. They listened to her story, comforted her, and called Oliver out for the evil man he was. Back at Sarah's house, Oliver returned with Brianna. To Sarah, he introduced Brianna as his sister, who had just come from the village. When Sarah questioned him, he twisted the story until she believed him. He even claimed Brianna was mentally unstable, which is why he was keeping her close. And sadly, Sarah trusted him once again. That's where the drama really begins. Will Sarah ever realize the truth? Will Palumi prove her innocence? Stay tuned to find out. Right in the room, Brianna slapped Oliver because she felt insulted. She was shocked to discover that all this while, Oliver had a sugar mommy he was satisfying, yet still came to touch her. Oliver got angry and warned her never to try that again. He reminded her of everything he had done to make her enjoy life. Brianna apologized, and the two of them ended up enjoying the moment together. Meanwhile, Rebecca comforted Palumi at home. She encouraged her to take things easy, stay with them, and keep hoping and praying that her mother would one day come back to her senses. But guys, let me ask you, is it right for a mother to let go of her only daughter just because of a man? If you were in Palumi's shoes, what would you do? Let's keep watching and find out. Later that day, Oliver was about to go see another woman, but Brianna stopped him. She accused him of having an affair. She even held onto his clothes in anger. Just then, Sarah walked in and saw Brianna holding Oliver's shirt. She asked what was going on. Oliver was terrified, thinking Brianna would expose him. But to his surprise, Brianna lied. She told Sarah she was only upset because Oliver hadn't given her food since she arrived. Brianna even said she wanted to leave soon. Oliver quickly asked Sarah for some money to give Brianna for transportation. Sarah promised to give her cash, and the matter was settled for the moment. That night, Oliver tried to keep Brianna in her room, pleading with her to stay quiet. He forced her into the room, but later she came back out and sat on the floor. The next morning, Palumi was in tears. Her mother hadn't even called to check on her or ask if she was okay. Rebecca comforted her, urging her to stay strong and eat something before she left for work. Otherwise, she could get fired. Oliver also woke up that morning and went to check on Brianna. He found her still on the floor where she had sat the night before. He took her back to the room and tried to explain that everything he was doing was for business, to favor them both. Brianna wasn't convinced. She told him to take a bath before touching her. Later that day, Evelyn kept consoling Palumi. When Evelyn's friend came over, she suggested Palumi call her mom again. Palumi dialed, but Sarah immediately hung up and even blocked her number. Palumi broke down in tears as Evelyn and her friend comforted her. Meanwhile, Brianna was preparing to leave. Oliver tried to cheer her up, but nothing worked. He later informed Sarah that his sister wanted to go back to the village. Sarah tried to persuade Brianna to stay a little longer and even offered to give her 1 million naira to start something for herself. But Brianna insisted on leaving. Oliver offered to escort her to the park while Sarah went to work. But instead of going to the village, Oliver carried Brianna back with him. Brianna was excited about the large sum of money and asked Oliver about his plans for her return to the house. When they got back home, Rebecca heard voices and came to check. She asked Oliver about the woman's voice she had heard, but Oliver denied it. When she returned again, he got angry and shouted at her to go back to the kitchen. Rebecca wondered why Oliver was being so mean. Moments later, she actually saw Brianna and began to question why they were hiding. Inside the room, Oliver assured Brianna that he didn't want his child to grow up in the ghetto. He promised her that Rebecca wouldn't enter the room and that by the time Brianna needed antenatal care, he would have saved enough money to japa, run away abroad. As they were enjoying their moment, Rebecca knocked on the door. Wow, guys, what do you think? Will Oliver succeed in his plan? And what if Rebecca ends up losing her job in the process? How will it all turn out? Let's find out together. That evening, when Oliver returned, Sarah confronted him directly. She asked how long he planned to keep hiding a woman in his room. Oliver instantly knew Rebecca was behind it. Rebecca then revealed the truth, not only about Brianna being hidden upstairs, but also about the 800 million naira deal Sarah had promised him. She warned Sarah that Oliver's real plan was to run away with the money once he got it. Sarah was shocked because only the two of them knew about that deal. Rebecca pressed further, asking Sarah to question Oliver about the food he often brought home. She reminded her that Sarah never ate anything unless it was freshly made, so who was Oliver really feeding? At that moment, Sarah lost her temper, slapped Oliver across the face, and demanded that he open his room. When he finally unlocked the door, Brianna, thinking it was Oliver, rushed out and jumped on Sarah. Sarah froze in shock. The truth was finally out. Rebecca revealed that Oliver and Brianna had been secretly dating for a long time, and worse, Brianna was pregnant for him. Sarah turned to attack Oliver, but he panicked and tried to beg. Furious and heartbroken, Sarah slapped him again and ordered him out of her house. After Sarah stormed off, Oliver and Rebecca began exchanging harsh words. Meanwhile, Rebecca caught Brianna and started beating her angrily. Brianna, in tears, asked Oliver what his plan was, or if he had saved any money for them, but Oliver admitted he had nothing left. He even muttered that he wished Brianna would lose the child because his life was already ruined. With that, he walked away. Rebecca later sat with Sarah and revealed everything that had been going on, even how her younger sister Evelyn had been taken advantage of. Rebecca begged Sarah to forgive her daughter Palumi and allow her to return home. But Sarah confessed that every time she thought of her daughter, it only brought back painful memories. She admitted with tears that she had failed as a mother. What do you think, guys? Should Sarah put aside her bitterness and forgive her daughter, or will her pain keep blinding her? Stay tuned to see what happens next. Rebecca understood Sarah's pain and encouraged her, reminding her that anyone could have been in her shoes, but that the child should never be the source of suffering. Rebecca assured her madam that her daughter was safe. Sarah then asked where Palumi was. Rebecca took her to see her daughter. At first, Palumi was not pleased to see her mother. She poured out her heart, expressing how hurt she was, how her mom had chosen a man over her, and how she had never felt loved or appreciated despite all her efforts to make her proud. Sarah broke down and apologized. Rebecca also spoke on her madam's behalf, trying to mend their relationship. After a long and emotional conversation, Palumi forgave her mother. The two embraced and bonded again. Sarah then promised to move Rebecca out of the small place where she lived into a well-furnished apartment. They all enjoyed the moment together, united once more. So guys, if you enjoyed this movie recap, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more of our latest movies.